Belle and I'm 20 years old and this is my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do a video on how I got into modelling and any advice that might be good for you guys or any people out there who want to get into this industry and would like a bit of a heads up of what it entails or anything like that. I've had a few girls now messaging me on Instagram and sometimes on my YouTube videos asking me to do one of these videos. I have only been modelling for a year, just over a year full time now, so my advice isn't going to be amazing. I'm going to try and give you the best advice that I can give from what I've learned in my experience, but yeah, so I have been modelling, like I said, for full time for just over a year, and I was at uni when I got scouted. I 100% think education is the most important thing. I went through high school, got all my GCSEs, I got all my A-levels, and my friends used to take the mick out of me because I was definitely the geek of the group, working my absolute arse off to get the best grades, but in the worst way sometimes. I'd make myself ill by forgetting to bloody eat and go to the toilet. I'd lock myself in the conservatory just to... I did put a lot of pressure on myself to get the best grades possible, which I don't advise, and that's not the best advice. By the time I got to uni, because I was doing English Lit, that's not the lightest course either. You're doing a lot of reading, a lot of essay based, like writing all the time. It's very time consuming and you've got to want to do it. I absolutely love reading. I used to write stories and read all the time when I was little, but now it's kind of tarnished it a bit for me because I had to read so much. I kind of associate stress with it when I think of reading, which is stupid, but I am going to try and get myself back into it because I loved it so much. 100% think you've got to finish all of your education before you even think about getting into modelling, because you've always got to have a plan B. I am 20 years old now, so even though I'm fully focused on modelling and that is my path and my goal and my dream, if anything could happen, for example, you could break your leg and not be able to drive to jobs, and then that's it, you're not getting any money. It can be really hard. You have always got to think of a plan B, but for now I'm just taking each day as it comes because I really enjoy it, I really love it, but I know that I've always got my grades to fall back on. So just work hard because it is really important, but sometimes university isn't for everyone. It's not the only path that you can go down, even though I put a lot of pressure on myself thinking it was, and thinking that people would have thought I was stupid or dumb for not going and not finishing. That's just the way I thought mentally, but now I know that's not the case. But when you actually sit down and discuss what you want to do and talk about the way you feel, it comes a lot more clearer, and and I'm so happy that I've chose to take this path and make it my priority, really. But yeah, I got scouted about 2 months into when I started uni, and I was trying to juggle my weekend job at IKEA, then all my uni work Monday to Friday, and then trying to juggle the odd job when I decided to take it on, and it just wasn't realistic. I was getting so stressed, I was sad all the time, I wasn't enjoying uni, and really I did just want to quit straight away. I knew it wasn't for me when I started, but I felt like, again, it was that worry of what people would think, and that is a really stupid way to live your life. You can't not do something because you're worried how people might perceive you, because I know now I'm a lot more confident in myself. My opinion has definitely changed on modelling. Even though I always ideally wanted to do it when I was younger, I feel like a lot of girls think, oh, modelling, like that's like when you're a young kid. I feel like most girls probably do want to be in that industry, but I've got a new respect for it now that I never had before. It's a lot of hard work, even though some people might laugh and think, oh, shut up, you stand in front of a camera and just pose. Even though that is part of it, there's a lot of different parts that people don't see, which makes me respect it. It's a lot of long hours on your own, it's a lot of travelling, it's mentally hard because your reputation is everything and first impressions are everything. Say for example you're working 9 to 5 and you've got a load of your friends around you that you've made from work, and they understand that you're having a bad day. For example, if I was having a bad day, I can't take that to work with me because it could be a brand new team who I'm working with, and if I, for example, I'm not like this at all, but if I was like a diva behaviour, for example, they're not going to have you back, and that's just the way it is. You've got to have a positive, happy head on you all the time, and it can be hard. That can be quite mentally draining sometimes, but then again, the way I see it is, I'm really lucky to be able to do this, even though it's a lot of hard work. You're around nice, fun people. It's like starting a new job every single time you get a new job. And to me that's exciting because I've made a lot of friends for life and a lot of contacts, and it's networking as well, so it's like a business. You are your own business really. This job, like I just said, has made me a lot more independent. I live in the north, but the idea of getting a train to just London, which is 2 hours, used to freak me out. I just wasn't the independent type. I didn't like leaving my mum's side. I was such a home bird. I like being at home all the time. But now I'm getting flights to Sweden or flights to LA or trains to Glasgow and flights to Glasgow. Like, I'm going all over the country and internationally sometimes, and that, if you want it, you've got to make yourself do it. You've got to make yourself change, or because you're not going to receive anything if you don't put yourself out there, in my opinion. And so you have to do it. You've got to push yourself to be in that competition, or nobody's going to see you, and nobody's going to see your talent if you have that talent. The way you've got to see it when you are nervous, it is very nerve-wracking, but there's always going to be someone that'll help you. Don't feel stupid for asking questions. I remember when I first used to go to London, the idea of the tube, oh my god, would freak me out. The underground in London can get so hectic sometimes, and I'm quite claustrophobic, so just the idea of the tube would freak me out. And now I'm like I can just get from A to B so quick. When me and my boyfriend go to London, he just dawdles behind and just lets me, which is actually a really nice feeling, because I know when I am on my own and I can get to these places on my own, but I never would have been able to do that in the past, or thought I would have been able to. So it's nice to look back on how much you have grown as a person. Another thing as well is about investing in yourself. For example, sometimes I've been to London and paid a lot of money for a train to London. I've got to the casting and it just went absolutely rubbish. I could tell that they didn't really not like me, because it's not personal, but I could tell it just didn't really go well, and you feel gutted and you think, oh, I've wasted all that money and I'm not going to get anything from that now, and I could have just been at home. But that is how I used to think, because you will think like that if you're gutted and you're not used to this certain job. But the way I see it now is it's a learning experience. Okay, it might not have gone well, but you've got off your bum quite literally and gone to London all on your own, and it's an experience at the end of the day. Sometimes what's happened is I've gone down for that one casting, it's not gone well, I've gone to see my agency and they've set up like 5 different ones for me to go to, and then I've got the job for 3 of them or 2 of them or maybe all of them. And sometimes that's the best thing about it, because it's so last minute sometimes. It's quite exciting and it does keep you on your feet. If I didn't invest in myself to go to London and pay for that train, I never would have got them other jobs or other new clients or contacts. This is a #1 rule. When you're first starting, you should never ever ever pay for anything, nothing at all. But some photographers do request a fee, because if they're very established, then obviously you're using up their time, and if you're going to get amazing shots and amazing shots for your portfolio, which will then lead to you hopefully getting jobs at castings, then you've both helped each other out, because then you've got money from that. It's all about your reputation, and even though that sounds pathetic, because this job is based on initially what you look like and all of that, but really what is very important is your personality. Now everybody in our generation as well is starting to show their personalities more, and it's a bit more fun and quirky, and people are showing the flaws, and it makes you more beautiful if you have a laugh and get off your phone, speak to people, have conversations with people, have fun, make the workday fun. Don't be. And even though sometimes when I first started I was so scared, I remember being on a shoot with this gorgeous model, and it was literally one of my first shoots, and she was like with all these poses, and I was literally like, how the hell am I meant to be like that? Like, that's not gonna happen. And now people ask me like, how do you do that? Do you get taught that, or does it just come naturally? Or it literally is just experience. And when I think about how far I've come in a year, like mentally and inside as my personality's grown, I am happy and I'm proud of how far I've come. and nobody should really be able to take that away from you in any aspect of life. Like, I knew some of my friends that have gone to uni that were quite shy, nervous people and didn't want to go to university initially, and now that they've gone, they're outgoing, they're having fun with their mates, and I feel like that's amazing, because we're all doing different things, but as long as we're happy, then it shouldn't matter. You've really got to be headstrong, because people can make flippant comments and just be like, oh no, well that doesn't look too great, or no, she's not for us, or even about weight sometimes, and you have got to just be like, okay, well that's their opinion. Like, for example, if you go to a casting and you don't get it, I remember when I used to think the world would come crashing down. Oh, I'm not beautiful, I'm not this, I'm not that, blah blah blah. But it's not that you're not beautiful, it's not that you don't meet their idea of beautiful, it's not that at all. It's that you just weren't right for the job. And for example, so I'm blonde, blue eyes, I'll go for a job sometimes. There's castings where there's girls of all shapes and sizes, some brunette, black hair, blonde hair, dark skin, light skin, and they don't know what they want. And then sometimes you'll go and you'll all look the same, and you'll think, I'm not going to be able to compete with her, she's got this better than me, that better than me, and it can be really hard. Sometimes you'll never know why you get picked or why you don't, but that's just, this job is the job of rejection. You're going to get rejected a lot more than you get accepted, and when you accept that mentally, it becomes a lot more easier to just take castings as, oh, whatever, I'm just going to go. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. If it does, it does. I think it's important to put yourself out there, and for example, this is just a recent example of what I went through. So I was doing my regular jobs every week here in Manchester, Leicester, Birmingham, different places, and I just wanted to switch up my routine, and I wanted to push myself out there and see, and want other people to see me and see if I could grow any further, or just see what's out there basically in the world. And I said to my agency, listen, I've saved up, I really want to go to LA, I want to see what the market's like out there, I want to see if I do well, and they backed me. They said that they'd let me go and take me out of work for that chunk of time. I went for 10 days, I flew out with my mum, and the way I seen it is, if not, I'm having a nice holiday with my mum, we're going to make memories, have a good time, and then come back if nothing comes from it. But initially I went out there to do some test shoots and see some agencies, and I seen a few agencies, and I made a friend for life called Ron, who did a lot of, if you're watching this, Ron, hey, who did a lot of my test shoots, and he was such a lovely guy, and now I've got a contact out there forever. And it's again all about that networking, and then luckily I did not expect this to happen at all. I did not go thinking this would happen. I just wanted to go and see the possibility and see just what it was like over there, really. I got signed with an agency called MP Management in Los Angeles, and they were so lovely. I feel like you just know deep down who will back you 100% and who will get you the jobs and who really wants you there for you. They're going to help you turn into this confident person, and I feel like that's how it went for me. So I'm hopefully getting my visa sorted as the months go by. It does take a long time to get a visa, but that is the path that I'm going down at the moment, and I've still got a lot to learn, and I'm still learning every single day, taking each week as it comes. But that was my advice, so I hope it helped any of you out. If there's anything else that you'd love to know, then just let me know. Bye guys.